So, what level of optimization do you play at? That's what this video is about, and so there is no shame on being at any level in this. Like, if you're playing a lower optimization game and that's the type of table you like, that's totally fine. And you may start to think, wow, those higher levels sound unpleasant, which, fair enough, they might to you. At the same time, I know a lot of people that are really excited by pushing the game to its limits. But before we actually get started, I do need to mention that as long as you're within like 3 optimization levels as the rest of your group, it will be fine. Like, Pathfinder 2e is a brilliant game because when you are making an optimized character, it goes out and fans into having a bunch of different plans for different scenarios, rather than making a really big hammer to smash down every single problem. So this means a more optimized character has more decision making, yes, but it also means that less optimized characters, as long as you're not super far off the mark in terms of what optimized means, you can still play together and have a great time. I think that's enough preamble. So now let's go into the top 5 optimization levels, I think. I don't know. But we are starting with a 0 because I cannot stop cheating. And the 0th level is characters that are just unfunctional. And what I mean by dysfunctional and unfunctional characters is they just don't work. They don't use their class abilities. It would be the equivalent of playing a barbarian and forgetting that you have rage on your sheet, or trying to play a fighter and only having a +2 in either strength or dex. Stuff along those lines, where the character basically is unable to participate in the thing they're supposedly good at. For a martial character, it's pretty difficult to make a truly dysfunctional character, as long as you have a +3 or +4 in your key ability score. For a caster, it is a bit easier, and that's called not picking a damaging cantrip. As long as you have a damaging cantrip on your caster, and you have a +3 or +4 key ability score, you are at least functional. Now, can you make a functional caster with a lower key ability score and no damage dealing cantrip? Yes, but that's usually a War Priest cleric, or some other form of Gish that is relying on a lot of buff and heal spells that don't need spell DC. But I think I've spent too long on this category that I don't think anybody watching this video is at. So let's move on to optimization level 1, where everybody's playing a functional but suboptimal character. You'll see a lot of +3s in key ability scores at this level. You'll notice that a lot of the casters are picking spells because they share a trait they really like. And that's generally the vibes, you know? Nobody's trying to like play the game to win. If you're GMing for a 1 party, just kind of balancing encounters as if they were like a level lower, and they'll probably have a great time. Because people are building characters like this usually aren't the types that are going to be making plans for what to deal with novel situations. So as a GM, you do need to tune down your encounters, and so you might want to use low encounters as if they were moderates. But beyond that, you can still have a great time. And I'd say the 0, 1, 2 gaps are some of the larger gaps in terms of what the GM needs to do to compensate. And so this brings us to optimization level 2, which I think is the most populous optimization level. It is where people know how their class functions. They're able to do the thing their class does. So like if they're playing a fighter, they have a +4 in strength, they're hitting stuff. That fighter knows how reactive strike works and is paying attention and will mention, hey, I'm reactive striking. The barbarians know how to rage. The wizards know how their slots work, can use their focus spells, and know how to use their subclass abilities, whether that's repicking spells midday, destroying slots, whatever. And the reason I'm saying this is the most populous is because I think this is how a majority of people will interact with the game. They know what they want to do, and they're just going to kind of try and do that. The difference between level 2 and level 3 is, do you have a strong plan for what an average turn looks like? 3 is also going to be a very popular level, because 3 means you have a plan that involves like strike, and then a third action that you like to go for frequently. That's really what defines like a level 3 character. And that means you as a caster player are starting to figure out, okay, well, I'm a wisdom caster, so I should have battle medicine. I'm a charisma caster, so maybe I should think about demoralize a bit more and maybe take intimidate and glare, or a feat like that to let myself have a third action I can utilize. That is what defines a level 3 optimization character, when you start looking to apply more pressure out of that third action. When you start looking for reactions to make sure you're able to spend all of your resources efficiently on the average turn. And so you may notice that the difference between 2 and 3 is really more of a philosophy change than like a mechanical change. And that's a trend that's going to continue as we go into level 4, which is now instead of just having a third action that you like to rely on, you have a whole host of different things you can go between, and you're picking between entire different turn rotations, basically. And you're able to keep all this in your head, and you're able to basically swap out what you're doing depending on whatever encounter you are in. And so that will make a level 4th tier optimized character, is when you have these plans that are very detailed and go across all these different parts of the game. And so if you are a caster, this is where you will start outperforming once you get to this 4th tier of optimization. Because now as a caster, you're not just thinking about what am I doing in an average encounter? That's already settled. You figured that out at level 3. But now you also are planning for, ooh, what if we fight a Hydra? Just, what if we do? Maybe I should prepare an anti-reaction spell. But optimization level 4 is when you can make that call and know that even if you're wrong, it was still worth going for. Once you reach that point, you are playing an optimization 4 game. For a Marshal, this looks more like having a variety of third actions. Marshals benefit less from this level of depth of thinking about their turn. So Marshal characters will tend to overperform in optimization levels below 4, but casters start to overperform at levels 4 and above. So when people on Reddit complain that casters are weak, I just simply think they're either trying to do something that they're overinvesting in theme, or they're not thinking about their turns in the right way, and they're not thinking about the resources in the right way. It's usually one of those two things. And now, you absolutely can build a thematic caster that is optimized. And I'm going to put a link to a video by Pathfinder in the description and iCard up there. Because I think he does a really great job of it when he built a character based on Jack Frost, using a lot of storm and cold themed spells. And he did this in a way so that he wouldn't be walled by a cold immune enemy. So that's a very good video to check out. I do think the secret sauce for making a thematic caster is to be a little bit generous on what counts inside your themes, and to give yourself 2 themes to play around with. Like time and lightning could be a theme, something like that. But that is a bit off topic, and I'm kind of bearing the lead on what is the height of optimization. Well, tier 5 optimization is when you start to warp your entire character concept around what has the best options for each individual fight. This is where my Grapple War Priest guide comes in, because that build was created because I need to fill all these different things, and the character concept came after. I knew that this would be the thing that would let me handle all these different situations, and then I'd put the personality on it. And if you watch the stream I did with Team Player Gaming, you can see that a character that was designed mechanics first can still be very fun in roleplay. But optimization 5 is all about I'm now looking at a wide swath of classes and different options, and I'm going to try and assemble the best things out of all these so I always have an option for every scenario. A hyper-optimized character in this game is not all about stacking on one option. It's about having a variety of options so you can deal with every single scenario. It's more of a Batman utility belt than a Superman strength. And then of course there's secret level 6, because I couldn't cheat just once, I have to cheat twice. And that's teamwork. Your plans are better if your team can be involved in them. There's only so much a single character can bring. So work with your group to figure out who can cover what type of issue. And then when you all start optimizing your plans together as a team, that's really where you can push the game to its absolute extremes. Hey, I hope you found this video fun. If you like this, subscribe. This was a pretty low effort video, but hey, I'm seeing what kind of different styles I can do with shorter, more 8-minute style videos, and so I'm going to keep on experimenting with them in the future. So with that, I'll be signing off and see y'all in the next one.